Welcome back. Here we go again with Ryota, the boy who was reincarnated after dying because of working in an exploitative company. Luckily, he is reincarnated in a world where everything is earned by finishing monsters and profiting from their drops. Watch the previous recaps to keep up with us, because in today's video, Ryota is going to face some rare monsters and earn new weird drops. Let's go check what is going on with Ryota now. Ryota wants to sell his freshly gathered watermelons at the Swallow's Gratitude. Erza is astonished by the watermelons and asks him to wait till she appraises them. Surprisingly, Eric shows up and asks to try it herself. She gets a slice, and once she tries it, she falls in love with it as she did with the bamboo shoots. That makes the audience rush in to try the watermelon as well. When Erza sees the audience's reaction, she offers Ryota an exclusivity contract for the watermelons. Ryota accepts it, happy to have another reliable source of income. Erza asks Ryota if he has got his license already. Ryota does not know what she is talking about. She informs him that in this world, you need to have a license at every 5 levels down. Level 1 to 5 does not require a license. For levels 6 to 10, license 1. And for levels 11 to 15, license 2. That way you stop people from risking their lives for valuable drops. Ryota and Emily head to the licensing place. A guy who is in charge questions Ryota's achievement. As Erza told him, he says that he regularly brings watermelons from Telulu level 5. The man grabs a melon from a locker and asks them to follow him. He puts the watermelon on a battlefield. He is going to let it turn into a stray. If Ryota defeats it, he takes the license. They hide until the stray appears, which is a steel slime. Ryota approaches it and points a punch at it. The steel slime bounces back unharmed and Ryota's fist is damaged. He pulls his pistol and loads it with a fire bullet and a freezing bullet. He first shoots the fire bullet. The steel slime gets on fire. He then shoots the freezing bullet. The steel slime freezes. Proudly, Ryota knocks on the steel slime, and it shatters, announcing Ryota's win. The man in charge and Emily are surprised by his powers. Emily wonders how he did so. He explains it's extreme temperature difference. The man in charge hasn't seen anything like that, and gives him his license for level 6 and below. Surprisingly, Ryota asks Emily for help. He needs her to help him in getting 1.5 million pilos because he wants to buy tuna fish. A few days later, they make it and buy the tuna. They go away from the city and leave the tuna to turn into stray. They hide for a little while, and then the tuna transforms into a stray. For Emily's surprise, the tuna turns into a gorilla, the same that attacked the city before. Luckily, Ryota is ready. He shoots the gorilla with multiple freezing bullets to immobilize her. Then rushes towards the gorilla, climbs the ice, and finishes the gorilla. The battle with the gorilla was much easier than the previous time. Reflecting on the improvements in Ryota's skills, everything goes as planned. The gorilla drops another gun and regular bullets. Now, Ryota can dual wield. And that would make special bullet combos a lot easier. Later, Ryota sells drops at the Swallow's Gratitude. He notices Ezra is sad. He checks on her, and she tells him that a strike has been called. The Adalbert group occupies level 6 of Silicon Dungeon, the only place you can get rice. They are saying that if Ezra does not raise the price of the rice, they will not sell her anymore. Ryota heads to Silicon Dungeon, planning to find whoever is in charge and talk to him. He comes by Neptune, who has come here by request. Adalbert group has done that many times and people are done with it. And Neptune is here to destroy them. Ryota asks Neptune to allow him to deal with it and get rid of them instead. Ryota enters the 6th level of the dungeon, where he faces Adalbert group. They gather their power and intend to attack him. Bravely, Ryota pulls both his guns and shoots them with 2 bullets, that combine and put the group in deep sleep. Neptune pops up behind Ryota, scaring Ryota, and wonders how that happened. Ryota shot 2 healing bullets at them, which fused together and became a sleeping bullet. Having 2 guns has many potentials. Ryota has tested all the possibilities with Emily. When he shoots a fire bullet and a freezing bullet, it fuses and becomes an erasing bullet. And the combination of the bullets is endless, giving him so much power. Ryota and Neptune take the Adalbert group out of the dungeon and tie them, ending the strike, and bringing everything back to normal. At the back, someone is observing what is happening, finding the one he is looking for, Ryota. That guy turns out to be Clink Gray, the dungeon chief of the city, Sekro. Clint invites Ryota to his office, and there, he cuts to the chase and asks Ryota for a favor, which is enlisting his aid in a battle for a new dungeon, against the neighboring city of Here 2. He explains that all dungeons east of Sekiro have meat as drops and Here 2 is the livestock city. However, a new dungeon was found between Here 2 and Sekiro. Remarkably, the drops in that dungeon are half vegetables and half meat. They decide the ownership of the dungeon depending on the ratio of drops. So, if vegetables made up more than half, Sekiro could claim it. Ryota asks if is it that important to decide the owner of the dungeon. Clint loses his temper and explains that the ownership of a dungeon makes a huge difference in a town's economic health because of the tax charged for the purchased items. He then calms down after Ryota apologizes, grabs a handful of sugar cubes, eats them, and suddenly turns into a cute, calm guy, who does not seem to be afraid of diabetes. Furthermore, since vegetables and meat are dropped in equal proportions, they decide to determine the ownership based on who gets more rare drops. This is why Clint chose Ryota to help. He offers Ryota a monetary reward if he loses, and an exemption from taxation on all dropped items he gets if they win. Ryota agrees, and he begins planning for his trip. But he remembers Emily. He heads back home and tells her the whole story. She gets happy for him, as being asked to inspect a dungeon is a big deal. She tells him that she will hold down the fort while he is away. Ryota announces that he wants her to join him on his trip, as she is going to be a big help to him. Eve appears. She has been listening for their conversations. She asks about her stock of carrots. Ryota promises to gather enough carrots for her before leaving. Later, Ryota and Emily go on their trip. Ryota wonders as there is nothing at all in the desert. Emily explains that anything but water, earth, and air can turn into strays, which is why nothing can be left after. They keep going on their way till sunset. They camp and establish their tent, which is noticeably big and makes Ryota question how Emily was carrying all of it in her backpack. While Ryota is getting water as Emily asked him, he hears noises coming from the tent. He comes back with a water bucket to find a surprise. The tent was equipped with everything they might need: a warm light, a relaxing sofa, a bed, and even delicious food. Weirdly enough, Emily explains that she has been carrying it all in her backpack. Ryota ignores the whole thing when he sees the food, and surprisingly, Emily has even made their dessert. Furthermore, Emily intends to leave the tent to burn the trash. They cannot throw the trash, because it might turn into strays. In town, there are people who do it for them, but as they are alone in the desert, they must do it themselves. That gives Ryota an idea of what strays can spawn out of trash. He hides along with Emily while waiting for the stray to spawn. After some time, the stray spawns, featuring a new stray, Frankenstein. Emily, along with her heavy hammer, powerfully hits Frankenstein, but he easily holds the hammer with his hand. Ryota asks Emily to back off. He shoots a fire bullet into Frankenstein. It fires him up but does not damage him. Ryota uses his two pistols and shoots two fire bullets at him, which fuse and burn Frankenstein down, announcing its defeat. Frankenstein drops new special bullets, homing bullets. More special bullets to improve Ryota's skills and make him undefeatable. And Emily is afraid again of the power Ryota is reaching. They resume their trip and finally reach the new dungeon, Selene, where a lot of people have been sent from both cities, making it very crowded and busy. Ryota notices the big piles of trash. With so many people here, there's bound to be lots of trash. Near the trash, a girl in a red dress is casting magic spells to burn down the trash. The girl must oversee gathering and burning the trash. Unfortunately, there is so much trash that is not keeping up with it. She looks tired and exhausted from work, with bags under her eyes, and a pale face. Ryota decides to stop her, and give her a hand, as she reminds him of himself back in his previous life when he used to work 100 hours unpaid overtime per month. They rush to her and ask her to rest. She kindly tells them that it's okay, and they can grab their trash to pile, so she burns them. Then she looks at the pile and casts a spell to burn the trash pile. She is so tired, that the spell does not work. Suddenly, she closes her eyes, and falls back, losing consciousness. Ryota reacts fast and holds her before falling. Who will that girl turn out to be? And will she help Ryota in his mission? Or something unexpected will happen? Subscribe to the channel not to miss the upcoming recaps. And a like on the video would be unique. See you at the next one.